Well, here we go again. Monday morning. My gosh, time is flying by. It would be March this week. And there we are. Everything's looking good. The flowers are all coming up. It's warm, isn't it? And it's been a nice weekend, really. Bit miserable out there now, but that don't matter. As long as everybody's okay and staying safe. That's the most important. Everything's wonderful. Now, I got just two birthdays today. Penny Gilbert is today. Happy birthday to you, Penny. We go out and have a nice lunch, I expect, with Karen or something. And tomorrow is Clive Pokenhorn, our ex-mayor of Hale. It's his birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to you tomorrow, Clive. And well, and you enjoy yourself too. Now I'm going to do a little one here again day by Liz Arman. Just says Aunt Sarah in the chimney. I thought he'd let you know how we were keeping. Uncle Alfred had a stomach trouble, but what does he expect when he will eat hot heavy cake on top of a pasty half a yard long, followed by rhubarb tart and cream? No human stomach can take it. Perhaps you'll learn one day. As for the news down here, my auntie neighbour went and painted flowers all around her front door, painted her dustbin to match too. The dustman never emptied it for 3 weeks, thinking it was a garden ornament. It was so stinking so bad that not even the cats would go near him. So Alfred went out in the middle of the night with a drop of paraffin and set fire to him. That put paid to the roses round the bin. There's some wonders about nowadays, isn't there? They even got telephone on beaches. We went down Perrin Beach with the children and saw this little box stuck up on a plank. What's that for? Says I. Oh, life saving, says boy Peter. Upon that, the box started ringing. What does that mean? I asked him. Well, that means, said Peter, that someone out in the sea is possibly drowning and is ringing for help. Well, I was just thinking we'd better answer it when it stopped. So now I shall never know if the man ringing up for help was life saved or no. We went to the concert up Chapel Schoolroom last week. My, you know some people, you will make spectacles of themselves, won't they? There was a bunch of women who ought to know better up on the stage, dressed up in gathered skirts with handkerchiefs tied round their heads, trying to do a dance. Village maidens, the minister called them, and said how the ladies were to be congratulated they'd done their choreography themselves. I can see what he mean by choreography, 'cause he never saw such a gurgin and a geekin in your life. Village maidens, not one of them. I've been a maiden for 40 years or more. Grannas, every one of them. Up there showing their drawers and various veins. I reckon they're all in bed with bad backs this week. I gone and got myself a little job doing up for an old gentleman up the street. He come from up country, you know. You can tell because he got a bit of a job understanding what I to say. The other day his clock stopped and he was going to take him to be mended. Cuss on, I said, I'll give him to our Richard. He'll take him abroad and fix him. Oh no, said Mr. Smith. There's no need to go all that trouble and expense. I'm sure there is someone in Cornwall who can mend it. No need to take him to foreign parts. See what I mean? Alfred done a brave fine thing last week, and all the old chimney been smoking. I said, we'll have a sweeping. No, need do that, said Alfred. Charlie next door got a good set of brushes. I'll borrow they and do it myself. When I wasn't very anxious, because Fred isn't the world's best handyman, he took umbrage and said, my dear woman, any fool can sweep a chimney. All you got to do is push the brush up and keep turning to the right. I was given orders to keep out the way, so I gave him plenty of covers for the furniture and went into the kitchen and said a prayer. I heard grunts and groans and rattling and knocking and what sounded like the roof falling in. Then I heard a very heavy weak call. Sarah Ann, can you spare a minute? What a sight met my eyes. That natural fool never put no sack up to the front of the fireplace, and he was kneeling in front of the hearth, covered from top to toe in soot. Soot was falling on everything like dust from a volcano. The poor goldfish was swimming around like one demented. There was so much soot in the bowl. It came out like an avalanche, said Alfred. And what's more, I got to keep him turning to the right so the brush isn't stuck up the chimney, I said. I thought any fool can sweep a chimney. There's only two ways to unstuck a brush up a flue. One is to climb up on the roof and drop a rock down, or stick a paraffin rag up and set fire to him. I thoughts of Alfred's blood pressure and couldn't face him having a spasm on the roof, so we decided to set fire to him. That was a mistake, for when the brush caught alight, it set fire to what was left up there, and it was all floating out in the room, like mackerel swimming round. In the end, we have to have the fire brigade, and that was a disaster because afterwards I felt we'd been struck by a tidal wave. It took us days to clean up, and we had to pepper and paint the room. And when Alfred said to me, it's one good thing the chimney has had a good clear out, I tell you, I throwed the brush at him. He'd have looked some sheepish ever since. Now, before I close, I'll just tell you this. You know our boy James, he have got married. Well, the night before the wedding, I often took James down to the parlour to have a few words. I suppose I was going to tell him about the facts of life. I thought I'd reckon I would ask, have a heart, I might learn something. Now I heard often say, you're going to be the married man, boy. Well, one thing you must always remember, the woman is the weaker vessel, and you must always give in to her. Oh, that's very well, uncle, said James, but tell me what if she's on the wrong tack? I could almost hear Alfred thinking. Then he said, that don't matter, my son. You must give in to her just the same. Never forget, boy, the women are always right. I thought to myself, Sarah Ann, it have took you 50 years to get Alfred to see sense. Everything to come to she that wait long enough. Now, my loves, I better says long. Uncle Alfred to send his kindest regards. Give the child a dear kiss. Thanks, and have a nice few days.